Hi, Youngsun. My name is Ellen, and I'll be correcting this essay for you. I'm glad to see that you have signed up for an essay correction with us so that we can see where you are with IELTS. I saw that you took the exam before, so you're familiar with it, and that's good too. Let's see what you wrote here in this essay about international marketing. Over the last decades, international marketing has become popular in many countries. Some people argue that this marketing causes only drawbacks to the economy and our society. However, I insist that the global marketing brings both positive and negative points, and the positive side outweighs, here you wanted an S, the drawbacks. Okay, this is lovely. This is actually really quite good. You rephrased just enough. You didn't, go too overboard, or you didn't copy the language in any way that we didn't want. And I really liked this sentence here too. I thought that was quite nice. The only thing that maybe I want to change was this use of positive, positive, and this use of drawbacks, drawbacks. So, see if you can avoid using the same vocabulary, definitely in the same sentence, but also in this paragraph here, okay? Especially here that this was problematic a little bit. Brings both positive and negative point out and the positive side that way. But, so I think you understand what I mean. Let's see. So just to give you an example of one way, one of the endless and countless ways you could have done this, you could have just said, however, I insist that there are two sides to this issue, but the positive side outweighs the negative. All right, and then you would have been absolutely fine. All right, let's move on. To begin with, micro enterprises cannot survive in markets due to the marketing strategy from corporations. Since these small companies do not have the capabilities to advertise their products and services through mass media, you want no A here, um, they will be eventually defeated in the competition with international conglomerates. As a result, the domestic economy may become fragile while the international companies dominate the markets. However, this is only an exceptional case. So, revise that. Okay, this is fine, but a little underdeveloped. Let's see. So the idea here is that this marketing is considered invasive and intrusive. Okay. And so you really just talked about it as being, these big giant fish in the economic pool, and they're eating the little fish. So that's part of it, but there's more to it as well. I mean, a lot of people are concerned with, because you know what it is? That could happen even domestically. So if you've got a big domestic company, it can also eat the small fish, as it were, of the same country. What you want to point out here is internationally what's happening. So why, when we're talking about international marketing, is this particularly a problem? So you may want to introduce some other elements here, like maybe their attempt at at approaching the culture of the host country is misguided, or maybe they're not sensitive to certain things. We all know about international marketing fails that happen really quite, well, I don't know how often they happen anymore, but they are something that we're familiar with, that sometimes countries are marketed in a way that is insensitive or shows a lack of understanding of that country. And so, some people can find this very invasive or intrusive, or maybe they feel that, there's new elements being introduced into the culture that are foreign and, quite frankly, unwanted by a lot of people. So these were some of the things that you could have mentioned here, because essentially, I felt, like I said, this was underdeveloped, but also, I also thought that, these corporations you mentioned, they could have also been domestic. Yeah, and I realize that you mentioned the word international here, and you mentioned it again here, but the examples you presented and the way that this was structured, it could have gone either way. You could have been talking about international, or you could have been talking about domestic. In other words, there was nothing that was so specifically developed that it was it applied to this case of, international companies coming in and marketing their products to the local market. Okay, I hope you understand what I mean by this. I'm not really sure I'm making it clear. I hope so. Let's move on though. Meanwhile, global marketing can generate more opportunities for young people. We don't want to start off sentences with because. Traditionally, it's not considered appropriate. I know we see it happening all the time online. I know I see it daily. It's, starting sentences with and, but, or because. But traditionally, we don't do this. And with IELTS, I prefer that you are a little more conservative and don't do this as well. If you want to start with a word like this, you could say something like since, all right, which is okay to start a sentence with. So why don't we try that? Let's start from the beginning. Meanwhile, global marketing can generate more opportunities for young people since they can learn about advanced level business management by the open marketing resources. They will adopt international standard of qualifications standards, especially in the field of trade, not ing, and business. This may also alleviate the severe unemployment issue in developing nations. Okay, why? Explain that. Furthermore, consumers can make wise decisions when they purchase products. This, not it, this is because the information given from international marketing can educate the individuals what the standard criteria regarding high quality and goods and credibility of sellers are. Okay? It's not a question, so you don't want to use question form here. What are standard? That's a question. So put are at the end of the clause. Consumers no more damage financially. All right, you're missing a verb here. From fraud cases and overpriced goods. Yeah, you're missing a verb. In conclusion, it is evident that global marketing may threaten the domestic enterprises. There's but, okay? So if you want to start a sentence that shows some sort of contrast like this, you could have done however, you could have done yet. So, yet, we cannot neglect the aforementioned advantages that international marketing can contribute to coping with the unemployment problem and raising wise customers. This may lead to economic development and a healthy society in the long-term perspective. Okay, let's see. All right, I was fine with this. We already talked considerably about this. I did want to talk about this a little bit. I thought you did fine with this paragraph, although you addressed some of the elements that the essay asked you to talk about indirectly. Okay, you didn't address all of them, and I realize that that's really hard to address all of them. But it talks about being an economical form of education, which you certainly covered. You said they educate the individuals about standards of high quality. There wasn't much about culture, that's for sure. There was absolutely nothing about language. Okay, so you did talk about ideas. You talked about business management, international standard of qualifications. Maybe you could have focused a little less on this, all right, and maybe somehow thrown in something about languages and about culture, since they were mentioned in the task as well. But I know that that's really rather tricky to do. There are a lot of things in that task that they ask you to talk about. But that's something I would have liked to have seen. So I thought this was a good essay. I think you didn't mention what score you got or what score you need now for your IELTS test again. That's information that I would like to. But I thought it was a solid essay. I thought it was a nice essay. I thought, again, just to, reiterate that you could have had a little more development here. And here you maybe just needed to be a little more faithful and cover the areas of the task that were given to you. I thought grammar was good on the whole, but there were little things that happened throughout the essay with some consistency. It didn't create any errors, or it didn't create rather any incoherence. I was able to understand the entire essay, and so that was good. But there were just little things throughout. And I thought your vocabulary was absolutely fine. It was nice. Okay, so I would love to see more work from you. I would love to see what you do with task one. Again, I would like that information about the score you got in the past and what score you're aiming for this time. So if you are interested and you've got a little time and you'd like to continue working with us, I definitely recommend the essay correction package that you can get with us. Or if you want something more comprehensive, there's also the online course, which is a wealth of information. Take a look at the different packages available, see what suits you. I really would like to continue working with you, so hopefully we can find something that suits your needs so that we can do that. So I hope we get to hear from you soon, and I want to wish you, on behalf of all of us, best of luck.